Welcome back here as we are back live in Flair Country as we continue on with Raw Week 6. We are now here in Part 2, of course. If you haven't watched Part 1 already, then go on and watch that first. As we now kick things off here in Part 2 of Raw Week 6 as the boss, Sasha Banks, the last entrance here into this failed 5-way. Major implications, of course. Winner of this failed 5-way will go on to One Night Stand Extreme Rules to challenge either Becky Lynch or Naomi for the Raw Women's Championship, depending on who wins their main event here tonight. Of course, it's Lacey Evans, Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax, Natalya, and Sasha Banks, as Sasha immediately went to the outside and Natalya chased her down. No, Sasha just gonna send her into the steel steps. That's now Lacey Evans, Ronda Rousey, and Nia Jax. Those three are in the ring. If anything, it makes me feel like both Lacey and Ronda definitely team up on obviously the bigger Nia Jax, as Natalya and Sasha Banks as they brawl on the outside. And on Nia Jax standing tall in the center of the ring. Of course, later on tonight, your main event. It's a main event from the Money in the Bank kickoff show. The Raw Women's Championship is on the line. Becky Lynch, she cashes in her rematch clause against new champion Naomi. Of course, a couple nights ago, Naomi in the Money in the Bank kickoff show topped Becky Lynch to become the new Raw Women's Champion. Becky, she gets her rematch here tonight, courtesy of Raw General Manager JBL. And if anything, during the break, I was told from, of course, our great Raw General Manager John Bradshaw Layfield that this match would not have no breaks. We would not go to any commercial breaks in the midst of this failed 5-way. Now, if anything, I did question Bradshaw, and then he told me two things, if anything. First off, never call him Bradshaw, and second off, never question the Raw General Manager. So, well, I would never do that again. I don't want to lose my job. But technically, they can't fire me because, like, who else would they use to commentate for Raw? I commentate all shows. I'm great. Anyway, going on nowhere, back to a failed 5-way action. That's now the action spills out to the outside ring. Everyone on the outside now. Still Nia Jax, Ronda Rousey, and Lacey Evans. It's those three. We're having two matchups going on. A triple threat between those three and a singles contest going on between Sasha Banks and Natalya. As now, Sasha and Natalya, they're in the ring here. If anything, Sasha Banks, she usually does well in scenarios like these. Of course, a couple weeks back on Raw, she won that failed 4-way as a preview for the women's side of things of the Money in the Bank ladder match. Of course, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, the 4 women representing Raw for that was Ronda Rousey, Sasha Banks, and of course both women's tag team champions, and then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and of course Bliss and Cross successfully retaining their tag team titles last week on Raw to open us up against the Riot Squad. As now Sasha, she did win that fatal 4-way. Can she win this fatal 5-way weeks later? And oh, Nia Jax, she just launches Sasha Banks, and Ronda Rousey exits out. As now Ronda going to target Lacey Evans. Natalya here has Jax in her grasp. Can she be able to work with it? Yes, she can. Side rush and leg sweep. This matchup's going to be very difficult for each woman to win, as Sasha Banks goes down from the double underhook suplex. And now following that, leg drop from Natalya. Of course, you need the eyes in the back of your head 24/7, especially even more for a fatal 5-way. I said before for the fatal 4-ways across Raw, SmackDown, NXT episodes, but this is the first ever fatal 5-way. Granted, we had a 6-pack challenge for the first ever episode of NXT. One, of course, that Rhea Ripley won. Of course, Rhea Ripley come up short. And the triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver Blackpool this past Saturday. The winner of that one was actually Toni Storm. Former champion Shayna Baszler still has a rematch, if anything. Then again, so does Rhea. So we shall see how that plays out on NXT this Wednesday. That's now Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax in the ring. Look at this matchup. What a kick right there by Ronda. That one does not take down Nia Jax. Nia still on her feet. I know. But just imagine the matchups we could have. We could have matchups such as Ronda Rousey versus Naomi, or Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. We could have those matchups here in Euros mode. Definitely matchups that happened before in the past, but matchups that will be a first here in Euros mode history. And of course, Women's Money in the Bank. Miss Money in the Bank, if anything, to put into better terms, Asuka. She is on SmackDown, but anytime she could go over to Raw. Same like Mr. Money in the Bank Buddy Murphy, who's also on SmackDown. Of course, if anything, Buddy Murphy tomorrow night, Tuesday night on SmackDown, he shall make an appearance, well, if anything, not on SmackDown, but on Velocity, just before SmackDown. Miss Money in the Bank Asuka, she will make her first appearance with the briefcase on SmackDown tomorrow night. I could plug in the shows because I'm a commentator for all of them. Not like there's specific commentators, so that don't matter. But anyway, going back to the action here. Lacey Evans here. Nia Jax, she's just laughing at her right in front of her. No, Lacey gets a shot in. Nia's actually dazed from that one. Lacey Evans now drop kick off the top rope. Now Lacey into a cover. Imagine the upset. This would be only one. Imagine the upset that would have been. That's now Ronda enters the ring. Natalya, the only one to not be inside the ring, and now she enters all 5 women. Exactly how we started with all 5 women in the ring, if anything. Let's now look at this. Natalya here has Sasha Banks here, kind of like almost a torture rack, like a variation of a torture rack, if anything, type submission. Sasha can roll to the outside now, trying to recuperate big time elbow shot right there from Lacey Evans. And Ronda Rousey had Nia Jax in an armbar. However, Nia Jax had the rope break. And now 2 matchups here. Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax, Lacey Evans, Natalya. Of course, and then wait a second. Hold that. Woman's right by Natalya. No, by Lacey Evans onto Natalya. If anything, into a cover here. Lacey Evans, still number 1 contender. No, she's not. That was close indeed. And now Sasha Banks here. Oh no, Sasha decides against it. Realizes Lacey Evans was right there. Sasha Banks almost making a rookie mistake, if anything. She definitely isn't a rookie. Able to correct her mistake immediately. And now here we go. Sasha Banks now taking down Lacey Evans. Couple clotheslines following down a dropkick. And she walks right into the raiding grasp of Nia Jax. And Jax 0. Sasha, never mind, gonna reverse that. Looking for something, not gonna get. Big time clothesline. And Sasha almost rolling to the outside, trying to get away from Nia Jax. Nia's not gonna let that happen one bit. And now here we go. Has her, lifts her up. Samoan drop onto the boss. Into a curb, but no. Natalya right there to break it up. And Nia Jax not happy about that one. She didn't notice Natalya was there in the first place. And now here we go. Natalya can try to steal it. Natalya can steal the victory. Can steal Nia Jax's victory, but no. Only 2. Lacey Evans shields right there. I was expecting her to break it up, if anything. As I look at this Ronda Rousey, just demolishing Nia Jax. She threw her over Sasha Banks. Rousey almost killed Sasha with Nia Jax. That would have been amazing. As I look at this Ronda Rousey here, on complete fire, takes down Natalya. And of course, there is some bad blood that stemmed from that fatal 4-way a couple weeks back, where Sasha Banks almost injured Ronda Rousey in the midst of that matchup. Ronda Rousey was on the top rope. Sasha kicked her off the top rope, and Ronda did not fall into the ring. She fell to the outside of the ring, took a nasty landing, which of course led for Sasha Banks to have the coast to be cleared. The boss was able to apply the Banks statement, leading to Sasha Banks win the fifth way, making Nikki Cross tap out. That's now continuing on with the matchup here. Once again, the triple threat scenario between Lacey Evans, Ronda Rousey, and Nia Jax. That's all 3 women in the ring. Down goes Lacey Evans. Nia Jax trying to get a shot in on one of the 2 women. And now Nia just runs over Lacey Evans. God. Like run over by a freight train, if anything. And now Jax here. Big time leg drop on Ronda Rousey. That one crushes her chest. And now Jax here has Ronda all to herself. Now Jax could perhaps win this contest or not. Just gonna throw Ronda Rousey to the outside. Jax sees Natalya, but Natalya gonna shift her focus onto Ronda Rousey. As now Rousey gets sent back inside the ring. So that means now Jax was going to target Lacey Evans, but Evans sends Jax back inside the ring. All 5 women back in the ring here in this fatal 5-way contest. That's now Ronda Rousey here. He's looking for a shot. Natalya, big time elbow. That one rocks Rousey. And now here we go. Natalya has Rousey up for the suplexes with the squad, if anything. And Sasha Banks, she doesn't look all too impressed. Just stares down Natalya. Jax on the outside. And now these 4 women need to use this opportunity. The biggest threat, literally and figuratively, in this contest. And Nia Jax is taken out but for how long is the question. And these four women definitely need to capitalize on this opportunity. Now, oh, what a power slam by Natalya in the center of the ring to Sasha Banks. And now Natalya here looking for a suplex. Sasha versus neckbreaker. And now Banks here. And Lacey Evans in the middle of the ring. And neckbreaker on the part of Lacey Evans to Nia Jax. To Sasha Banks, if anything. Nia, if anything, she's stirring on the outside. She's slowly but surely getting to her feet. And Evans here notices that. Perhaps going to have to go for a quick pinfall attempt. Well, too late for that. Because now Nia Jax misses the shot right there. Thought she was going to run over Lacey Evans again. And oh, Sasha Banks not backing away. She's not backing down from Nia Jax. Not sure how smart that is. As now, Lacey Evans takes down Nia. Sweeping away the leg. No! Pulls the hair. Down goes Jax. Smart on the part of Lacey Evans. Is now Evans and Sasha still in the middle of the ring. And no. Lutez press on the part of Sasha. Following that was the mounted punches. Jackson Rousey now back into his contest. Banks now on the top rope here. Rousey staring a hole through her. Decides not to stop her. No! Sasha leaps over. Ronda Rousey connects. Oh, a drop kick to the back of Lacey Evans. As now, look at this. Natalya here. That variation of a torture rack. And Rousey gonna stop Natalya right then and there. And now Natalya, she's in the corner. She's dates Sasha Banks on the outside. Lacey Evans still trying to recover from that drop kick. And Ronda Rousey had the clear lane. She had the opening. She had the opening to put away Nia Jax. But Jax once again with a rope break from that armbar. And now Natalya tips back up. Oh, full Nelson suplex on the Rousey. And now Lacey Evans here. Oh, what a Superman punch right there by Rousey. And now, perhaps the coast is cleared for Rousey. She took out Natalya, but Lacey Evans brings Natalya back up. And now Rousey here has Natalya all to herself. Brings her down. Armbar, or is it going to be another rope break? It's going to be another rope break. No, Lacey Evans this time around is going to break it up. Ronda Rousey has gone so close, but yet so far, and win this contest now on 3 separate occasions. First 2 times, if anything, it was a rope break for Nia Jax. Now look at this here. German suplex right there from Natalya. And now Evans, she's just strolling around here. She's just following both women, waiting to pick her spot. She's occasionally getting some shots in. But I realize is now that Ronda's taken down. And look at this. Lacey Evans, oh! Folds Natalya upon impact. 2, and oh! Close 2 count. And then look at this. Rousey is going for a ride. Samoan drop by Nia Jax and Sasha Banks. Banks sees that Jax is going to do a cover. Well, if anything, the rope break, decides not to break it up. As the referee did see a rope break. And now Evans here. Going to try to use the ropes to her advantage for that pinfall, but Sasha's right there. Wasn't very smart on the part of Lacey Evans. Now Jax sends Rousey to the outside. Sasha Banks working on Natalya. As now Lacey Evans gets sent to the corner. Sasha now. Couple stomps to the corner, was looking for perhaps a running meteor, doesn't get it. And no. Lutez press again. Mount punches once again on the part of Sasha Banks. Natalya here. It's Natalya and Sasha. Center of the ring. Perhaps one of these 2 women will win this contest. As now, if anything, Nia Jax sets her sights back to being focused. With the action in the ring, of course, only pinfalls and submissions count. Inside the ring, it's not a falls count anywhere matchup, so falls or submissions will not count on the outside of the ring. As now, well, barrage of strikes from Rousey. That one stuns Nia Jax. No, Rousey just knocks Sasha off the apron like she's nothing. And now Rousey here, demolishing Jax. The size advantage between these 2 is insane, but Ronda Rousey is making it look so easy. Like it's nothing, bringing down Nia Jax, and now focuses on Sasha Banks, senses her that she was in the ring, and takes her down. With that snapmare following that was a kick moments ago, and oh, was looking for another kick. Sasha casts the leg. Dragon screw leg whip. Now Sasha Banks here, she's sizing up Ronda Rousey. And oh, Rousey able to reverse it now. Body slam right there by Nia Jax. Following that leg drop. to Lacey Evans. And now here we go. Ronda Rousey. Piper's Pit on a Sasha Banks. And no. Rousey went for a pin. Nia Jax is right there. And Nia takes Ronda off the equation. And now Nia Jax sees Natalya trying to pick up the scraps. And she's not going to let that happen. Nia Jax. Samoan drop on a Sasha Banks. Well, eventually on to Lacey Evans. No, excuse me. On to Natalya. Oh, there we go. Completely effed that one up. And now Jax right there going to stop Evans from pinning Natalya. And this matchup is difficult to call. Very difficult. You know, Bradshaw, he could have given us a commercial break so I could have at least catch my breath. I need water. I really do need water. Like, no joke. I am dying of thirst in the middle of this matchup. We could have just gotten a break, Bradshaw. Well, I can't call him Bradshaw. Whatever. Hopefully I still have my job after this episode. Anyway, moving on. Natalya, oh, she gets caught right there, gets sent back down by Jax. Once again, back to the triple threat scenario in the ring. Yes, no. Well, if anything, Ronda Rousey and Natalya, you know, they're friends. They could team up against Nia Jax. Who knows, maybe even in the future, women's tag team champions, we have no clue. But here, Nia is all focused upon not two individuals, but only one. Who wins this matchup? Who will go on the one-night stand Extreme Rules to challenge for the Raw Women's Championship? And another question we need answered is who is going to be the champion that they face? Will it be current champion Naomi, or will it be former champion Becky Lynch? We shall get answers to that in your main event in Part 3 of Raw Week 6. As now, oh god, those strikes, they're scary. They really are scary. As Natalya crumbles down to a knee, and oh my god, what a knee. Knee across the skull, but Natalya kips back up, and oh! She was looking for a bulldog, she gets thrown off. See the suplex right there by Banks to Evans, Hurricane Rana! Slash Frankensteiner by Rousey to Natalya, and now Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey, they renew hostilities, here we go! The Banks statement, Banks, has she won this matchup? Has she won the Fail 5-Way? No, she hasn't. She's not number one contender, well, at least not yet, if she even is to win this matchup in the first place. I can't speak. This is why we needed a break. Not for the crowd to catch a breath, but for me to catch a breath, if anything. As now, Rousey, oh, she got caught. She got caught in the mist of the Frankensteiner. As Jax reverses that very nicely into a powerbomb. And now Sasha Banks here. Meteora into a cover. Has the legs hooked. Two, and no, only two. Lacey Evans was about to break it up. She didn't even need to, as Jax was able to kick out. And now Natalya here with that submission once again, and Sasha Banks decides against going for Nia Jax. She's gonna go for Natalya, and she got both Jax and Natalya, but Banks has taken herself out of the equation. At what cost did Sasha Banks do that? Launching herself at both Nia Jax and Natalya, breaks up Natalya's submission hold and takes out Nia Jax, but Sasha Banks is taken out by basically herself. Rousey's also taken out, and Lacey Evans is gonna pick up the scraps of Natalya. The woman's right, gonna pick up the scraps of Sasha Banks, and Lacey Evans is number one contender. Sasha not able to break it up in time. Lacey Evans, like a vulture, if anything. If you ask me, I feel like the damage was done partially due to Sasha Banks risking her own body on the line to take out Nia Jax, to take out Natalya, which led for Lacey Evans to pick up the pieces with the woman's right. And Evans, she's going to one-night stand Extreme Rules. Well, if you ask me, the last person I would have thought to win this matchup was going to be Lacey Evans. My favorite heading into this one was either Rousey or Banks. But if you ask me, the wild card, the dark horse in this Fail 5-Way, and Lacey Evans picks up the victory, and with that, she's going to one-night stand Extreme Rules. Well, you know, I'm worn out, especially since we didn't have break. I feel like we should have break. JBL, you're a great general manager, but you should give me a break. I still need water. Best believe when we're going to break. Yeah, I need a breather after that. But anyway, let's take a recap to Heat, the pre-show before Raw, and your first ever episode of Heat, which I highly recommend that you should check out. because I need to plug in the material here. I have a job to do. Anyway, the Viking Raiders picking up victory over local competitors Jamie Yates and Jody Flynn. With the Viking experience, two of them, if anything, let them get the victory. First ever matchup in Heat Raw pre-show history, so big time victory for them. That was also their Universe Mode matchup, first ever Universe Mode. That was the first ever matchup here in Universe Mode as well. And well, we'll follow that was the Heat main event. The almighty Bobby Lashley went into battle against the Eater of Worlds, that is Bray Wyatt. This was Wyatt's first matchup here in Universe Mode history. Bobby Lashley's second, as a couple weeks back, Lashley came up short in singles competition to Drew McIntyre just before McIntyre faced off against Rollins for Universe title at Money in the Bank. Well, if anything, it was a great matchup for sure, but at the end of the day, Bobby Lashley, the almighty, just a better competitor than that of Bray Wyatt. Lashley survived the Sister Abigail, and at the end of the day, Lashley survived Sister Abigail, able to hit the spear for the victory. And if anything, next week on Heat, in your main event just before Raw begins, it's gonna be Aiden Carter III, EC3. He does battle with Samoa Joe, and if anything, they show the action doesn't stop here tonight. When we return, we continue with the action here on Monday Night Raw. Don't go anywhere. And so, we are back here on Raw, and what a glorious way to return. Yes, pun is indeed intended, as it's the glorious one, ladies and gentlemen. It's Robert Roode. He's in action.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 235 pounds, the glorious Robert Roode.
And well, the crowd, they certainly are behind this man. Well, if anything, remember a couple weeks back, it was an 8-man number one contenders battle royal to determine a number one contender for AJ Styles' United States Championship at Money in the Bank. And well, if anything, Roode, he got eliminated in quick fashion. He was the first elimination, and it happened all in under 20 seconds. I am very convinced that elimination had to have been, at the very least, it was at least under a minute. And Roode, he's not going to let that get to him here tonight. The glorious one is in action. However, it's going to be a difficult task, because he's in action against a very pissed off man. That man is the Samoan submission machine in Samoa Joe. Joe coming up short 2 weeks ago at Money in the Bank, failing to defeat AJ Styles for the United States Championship. Of course, Joe was the one that ultimately won the Battle Royal. And well, Joe, he still has his rematch clause, if anything. Not like it matters, because, you know, the phenomenal one will forever hold that United States Championship, or at least I hope. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for this man, as Roode tries to warm up in preparation here, as the Nation of Violence has now officially opened up.
And his opponent from Huntington Beach, California, weighing in at 282 pounds, Samoa Joe.
And well, as the crowd, they chant Joe. But you know what? I remember the time where instead of Joe chants, it was Joe's gonna kill you. And ladies and gentlemen, I would be sugarcoating it if I said that I think Samoa Joe is gonna absolutely demolish Robert Roode here tonight. Joe, still the range class, but best believe he is irate, coming up short in the battle for the United States Championship. It was a great matchup, one hell of an effort put by Samoa Joe. I have to give him that. But you know, it's AJ Styles. No one could top the phenomenal one. If anything, Joe, he did come up short. It did scare me. There were some moments that did scare me. But AJ, still champion. And now AJ has to contend with Ricochet at one night stand Extreme Rules. And well, Ricochet, you know, kid's great. He's not phenomenal. But if anything now, Rude here off the gates was looking for something, gets an elbow across the cheekbone, and oh! Actually takes down Samoa Joe now. Rude with the offense, and oh my god, okay, well, Joe's gonna stop that in his tracks. There's no Joe here. Snap mare, and a chop across the back. You know that stings, and a kick across the chest for extra measure. And oh, senton! Thank God Joe didn't do that to AJ at Money in the Bank. But of course, that chop across the back, that does sting. Here, all the way up here. AJ felt a couple of those at Money in the Bank. And now Robert Roode's here. Samoa Joe perhaps lured Rude to the outside. So Joe here could use the environment, his environment, to his advantage. There's no Joe here. Has Rude cornered between steel steps and the barricade. Rude can try to fight out of it if anything. And no, Rude catches Joe, and no! Double foot stop. Finn Balor style, of course, Balor over on SmackDown. As now, Rude gets sent into the barricade. Joe, of course, needs to watch out for the referee's 10 count. Pretty sure next thing Joe wants is a count out, as he sends Rude into his steel steps. And Samoa Joe enters back inside the ring, awaits the arrival of Rude, or is he gonna try to hurry things up a little bit here? No, waits for Rude to get back inside the ring. Joe trying to hype himself up here. No, that's a surprisingly rookie-type mistake on the part of a veteran that is Samoa Joe. And oh, look at that! Fireman's carry into a fall-away cutter. Robert Roode now with the upper hand. Knee drop. That one catches Joe flush across the face. And now Roode, Roode dodging that strike. Roode just ran, and now Roode here. It's a game of cat and mouse almost. Robert Roode with the high ground. No, not at all. Samoa Joe, he saw that coming a mile away. And now Roode here. Rude, what's he trying to do here? He's trying to use the speed advantage to that Samoa Joe, but there's not much of a speed advantage. Samoa Joe, deceivingly fast for a man of his size. As now Rude gets sent to a corner, and Joe, well, good night, Rude. Rude perhaps reversing the muscle buster, and Rude heads to the outside, and now Robert Roode here. The game of cat and mouse continues. Rude, he's trying to do this cat and mouse type thing, where the mouse can outmaneuver the cat, but it's not working out to the best of his favor. Well, now it is. Gets that club and blow, that clothesline across the back of the skull of Joe, and now Robert Roode, he's feeling himself here. Well, if anything, not for long, because Joe trying to stop Roode. And now, here we go, Robert Roode, double underhook, suplex, keeps the bridge. Impressive from the glorious one, but only a 2 count. Very, very impressive. And Joe telling Roode to get over there. Joe telling Roode to enter back on the outside of the ring. Falls right into the rain arms of Samoa Joe. That wasn't all that smart. You really shouldn't follow Samoa Joe when it comes to that. Or maybe it was, because now Roode playing possum gets that kick across the temple. And now Robert Roode, misses the strike. Samoa Joe now. Joe here has him up Uranagi on the outside. The very thin layer of padding on the outside. Not much give on that. And Roode here, however, able to recover from that. Samoa Joe, a man on a mission, if you ask me. And that mission, I think, is win his rematch clause for the United States Championship. That, of course, is even if Joe ever so chooses to cash in that rematch clause in the first place. And now Roode, of course, saying the mantra, he is absolutely glorious. And now clothesline across the back of skull. Can he be glorious here tonight? Can he recover from being eliminated in record time in that battle royal a couple weeks back? Spine buster! Into a cover. Quickly into the cover. 2! No, only 2. Well, Joe, he's down. That spinebuster kind of did the trick of keeping him down. And now Roode here looks to end it. Here we go. Glorious DDT! Glorious DDT into the cover. Robert Roode. Ladies and gentlemen, the Samoan submission machine is not done for. At least not yet. And that's even if Roode could even get the victory in the first place. Well, Joe survives the spinebuster, survives the glorious DDT. Majority of this matchup, surprisingly to me at least, it has been Robert Roode. This man is absolutely glorious, and he would not shut up about it. And now, well, that right there, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Why will you taunt? Why will you taunt right in front of Samoa Joe? Coquina clutch. And now, lights, camera, no. I was going to say lights, camera, action to signal that it's done, but that doesn't make no sense. Well, if anything, doesn't matter. Roode had the rope break. And Samoa Joe, he's pissed off about it, rightfully so. Basically, everything I've said about Joe is that he's a very angry individual heading into this matchup against Robert Roode. Essentially. And of course, this, if anything, is a preview of perhaps what he's going to do to EC3 next week on Heat, just before Raw Week 7 in the main event of the second episode of Heat. Sidewalk backbreaker right there from Roode, quickly to the cover. Desperation pinfall right there, you can definitely tell. Roode wants to put away Joe now. And now just taunting him, just taunting Joe. And Joe now, once again, gonna use the outside to his advantage. He keeps waiting for Robert Roode to enter to the outside of the ring. Joe has plans, and his plans have somewhat partially worked, but then there's also been times like that where Roode actually has been able to get the upper hand against Joe on the outside of the ring. And now Roode here sends Joe, into a ring post. The Samoan submission machine not looking too hot right now, as Roode has him where he wants him, or never mind, mini fireman's carry. And now Samoa Joe trying to get the ball rolling here, trying to get a string maneuvers to perhaps pull away Robert Roode, and that's definitely gonna do it. Uranagi. Good night, Robert Roode. And now here we go. Reversed. And Roode here gets sent to a ring apron, and now Samoa Joe. Joe trying to plant something here, and Roode gets a big time punch across the face, and now Robert Roode here from the top rope. I can be looking for neck breaker. Beautiful. As we take another look at that one right there. Look at that. That's now Samoa Joe lifting up Joe back up. Well, it's Robert Roode lifting Samoa Joe back up. Takes him down with that punch. Roode taking advantage of that big time neck breaker, and now gets caught. Gets clotheslined, his head just fell into the third row. And Samoa Joe now off that clothesline. I'm pretty sure Joe is going to put it away once and for all. And yep, he has it locked in. Roode nowhere near the ropes. The Coquino clutch. Ladies and gentlemen, Samoa Joe, has he put away Robert Roode? Roode, he's fighting. Roode is fighting. Trying to get a breath of life. He's not going to get. As Robert Roode taps out, the Samoan submission machine with the victory. Ladies and gentlemen, Roode, Robert Roode, the glorious one, Robert Roode. Welcome to the Nation of Violence, courtesy of the Samoan submission machine that is Samoa Joe. Let's look at that one there, Roode. He was fine out of it. Gotta give him credit. I thought for a short second he was gonna be able to fight out of it. Not able to at the end of the day. And Roode, he walks away here. Obviously not happy about that loss that he just suffered to Samoa Joe. And now, well, Joe, his night's not over yet. As now, Joe gets a mic here. Well, let's listen to what the Samoan submission machine has to say here now on Monday Night Raw. Well, there you have it. Samoa Joe keeping it short, sweet, and simple. He's going after the United States champion, whether it be Ricochet or AJ Styles, after one night stand Extreme Rules. He's picking his spot on who is going to be the next victim of Joe's Nation of Violence. But if anything, ladies and gentlemen, when we return, it's going to be part 3. Don't miss out on that. This is going to be the main event. It's going to be a main event kickoff show rematch. Becky Lynch gets another shot at winning back the Raw Women's Championship. When we return, it's part 3. Naomi, Becky Lynch, that's your main event. What a matchup that's going to be. Don't miss it.